All right, hopefully everything's working. Hello and welcome. Hello and welcome to the office hours, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I've been streaming all week and I am exhausted, but I will be done streaming. I'll be streaming ending early, and I mean it this time because I was falling asleep at work. How y'all doing? Like I am physically just dead. I think I've gotten at most 4 hours of sleep a night because of everything I've been doing. Let's go to the bar. Or wait, that's the right one. Not the bar. Let's go to the office. Hello, welcome. Welcome one and welcome all. Welcome to the office hours. This is a live stream where I do Q&A and look at the latest lore news of Star Citizen. How you doing? Woo. How y'all doing? Kid Bang Bang, how you doing? Stuff. Luckily, we only have one video released for today, which is...
You can take away my spaceship.
The base building one.
You can take away my space suit.
Suit!
You can even take away my space lasers.
No views.
But you can never,
ever
take away my space game.
N0V_A42 just resubscribed for 7 months. So how about that Zeus MK2, huh?
What about it? Thank you so much for that 7 months. You're a very important pupper. Very impressive of any pedestrian. This is your father, Drinking Night. Shots and cheers and yeah, shots and cheers. I don't know. I think it's ugly. I don't really like the design. I think it strays too far from the Zeus. Edgerson. Hey, 89 Dig Dug. Having spent many hours in base building in Starfield, I am ready for Star Citizen base building. I don't think you are. Star Citizen base building is probably going to be infinitely more complicated than Starfield base building. It sounds like it's a lot more like Factorio base building. It's like Factorio Light. Mark my words, Squadron 42 Invictus 2024, my word shall be marked. I don't think so. I think we might get an update or an announcement then, or an announcement next year. But I still think we're about a year and a half. The thing about polishing is that it takes about a year and a half for them to really go through polishing, in my experience. Like most companies take a while, and 24 months, I think, is about a reasonable point for like polishing and bug fixing. So, yeah, I think 2026 is a little late. I think 2025 is probably more like it. Yeah, but CIG can't afford to release a buggy game. They have to. They only have one chance to release a good game, and they don't want to Squadron 42 it. They don't want to Cyberpunk it, or Starfield it. They want to be able to release a game and have it be heralded like Baldur's Gate 3 has. Something where people were like, "This is a return to form. Are we seeing a return of the space sim genre?" That kind of thing. Hey, Jade the Brown. They can. There's no quantifiable value difference between a consumer who buys the game and finds it buggy and a consumer who buys the game and finds it flawless. Yeah, there is word of mouth. There's I forgot what it is, but it's there's a study that says that customers are 10 times more likely to tell friends about bad experiences than good experiences. So if you have a bad experience, it'll spread the word out, that kind of stuff. So, and Star Citizen gets a lot of slack because it is still early access, it's still alpha. So a lot of people will kind of take note of that and go, yeah, it's still an alpha. They say it's an alpha. They go out of their way to talk about how it's an alpha. And most fans will still call it an early access sort of thing, so. And yeah, and Cyberpunk, for instance, had no lasting value. Like, it came out and had no impact. And CIG wants Squadron 42 to have an impact because they also want to have people blend over to Star Citizen and also be excited for Squadron 42 Part 2. So, what do you think Pyro will have open PTU? November. The Pyro playground at least. It won't be Pyro. It'll just be a testing zone.
You can even take away my space lasers.
Yeah, Starfield is running out of. It's completely losing its value. It'll still be popular with Bethesda fans, but.
Raven_actual just resubscribed for 35 months. Welcome
Thank you so
back.
much.
Hope you had a great time at CitizenCon.
Thank you so much, Raven Actual. You're a very important pupper, very impressive Pennsylvania pedestrian. 35 months, that's nuts. You rock. Shots and cheers in chat. Yeah, shots and cheers. I had a great time. CitizenCon was fantastic. It was really fun. It's the first CitizenCon that I went to that felt like an event that I wanted to go to. Cyberpunk 2077 isn't dead. In fact, it's being lauded now. Yeah, but it doesn't have any impact. Like, Cyberpunk 2077 was saved by an anime, and then that anime gave them a second chance to release Phantom Liberty. But that's the only expansion they're doing, and then it's done. Versus Witcher 3, which had, what, like 6 expansions? Witcher 3 was seen as the standard RPG that everyone was going to shoot for after it released. It took a little while for it to get back its traction, but CD Projekt Red had several games under their belt, so people had like trusted their method. Whereas with CIG, they don't. Oh, 2 expansions. Okay. Yeah, but I don't think the thing is this isn't Destiny 2, or this is Destiny 2. This isn't Witcher 3. This isn't Cyberpunk. This is like the first game from CIG. I don't think base building will be hard. Will be hard too hard. The devs specifically said they intend for even solo players to have a base, so I doubt it's crazy expensive resource until you get the large scale org. A base is one thing, but a functioning like resource gatherer or manufacturing plant, that's different. Like building a building isn't going to be that difficult, but building a complex will. What I'm saying is that Chris Roberts wants to release the game and have it be Game of the Year when it comes out. They're going to try to polish the shit out of it. So they'll take their time. Oh, why wouldn't he want that? But if he wants that, it's gonna require at least a year of polish. Polish takes a very long time, y'all, because it's not just making the game good, it's making the game perfect. And by perfect, I mean going through and looking at animations, looking at how the animations are smooth and blend. A good example of like a really highly polished game that has got a lot of acclaim is Spider-Man 2 for PS5. like the animations are mwah. There's like almost no pop in or pop outs. You don't have that with Star Citizen or Squadron 42 yet. So there's going to be a lot of tech that they have to, or not tech. There's a lot of like going through and fixing the animation issues and other sorts of things. Comically large jug. Hey, listen, I love my jug the size of my head because it keeps water cold. Yeah, exactly. Checking every possible interaction between every combination of player-worn clothing, watch the hair clipping through hats, etc. Yeah. Now, they won't be perfect. There's always going to be issues, but there'll be a point where they have a standard that they're willing to set, and they're okay with it. I think they'll probably be more sloppy with the second one, but the second one don't have to worry about it as much. But I'm with you. I'd love to see Squadron 42 earlier, but I'm okay with them taking their time to polish it. I didn't think they were going to release it next year anyways. I thought they were going to announce it and then have to delay it till 2025. Never. Ever.
Take away my space game.
Listen, don't hate on my my gigantic water mug. It keeps me hydrated.
Just resubscribed for 48 months, 4 years. Wow.
4 years, yeah, that's nuts there, Gin and Tonic. You're a very important pupper, very impressive pisser of any pedestrian. This is your fault. You're good night. This is result.
You can even take away my space lasers.
Yeah, we're not going to see early access though.
Ever.
We're not going to see. We're definitely not going to see early access for Star Citizen, for Squadron 42.
Jokey 813 just resubscribed for 27 months. Hiya Paul, I hope all is well with you.
Hey Joker, thank you so much for that Twitch Prime for 27 months. You're a very important pupper, very impressive pisser, very pedestrian. You rock. Shots and cheers in chat, y'all. Shots and cheers. How big is the jug? It's 100 ounces, which is, if I look it up, the conversion. Hundred fluid ounces. It's about 3 liters of water. 3 metric liters of water. Now this is 50 ounces, which is about 1.5 liters. So. Oh, he definitely wanted to give it a release date. But I also think the reality is that they need to get to a good position. Because they definitely have estimates. My guess is that their internal estimates are they'll be done and ready to go by October of next year. Because they also have the advantage is that they've been polishing and also testing the game as it goes, and they've also had Star Citizen that helps test a lot of those features as well. But I also would gather that a lot of the teams who built a lot of the technologies that are now going into Star Citizen from Squadron 42 want players to get their hands on those technologies, the new HUD, the new map, the new scanning system, the engine stuff, the new military, like the new weapons and flight modes, all of those things, new AI. They want to get all of those things into players' hands and have players test them to make sure everything is good before they have a final sort of like look through and release. Because that will really, because like, again, you don't have to have players early access test Squadron 42 when Star Citizen is just Squadron 42 without the cutscenes. So. Plus Raven Actual's right. They need to have an activation time of about 6 months to a year. Deepa, it was good to see you, you absolute madman. When you said, I'm Deepa, I was like, you fucking madman. I know who you are. You keep giving me things. Are you drunk again, Deepa? This one, yeah, I got it at HEB. So. It's pretty generic. Called reduce. Oh, you're at Cordath. Okay, Raven Actual. That makes sense. I recognize that name. The Hib. The Hib. The relief on CR's face when both server meshing was working and Squad 42 feature complete was very apparent. Oh, yeah, it was. It's also very apparent that CIG is doing the thing that CIG does best. For those of you who haven't been around for very long, when 3.5 came out, I think it was 3.5, whenever we got mining, around that time, we suddenly had this burst of content that came out. And I saw it. I think a lot of people maybe didn't see it or were kind of forgot about it. But I remember seeing this small burst of content that came out in 6 months, and then it fell away because everything was fucked up. So they needed to add more background tech and optimize and stuff like that. And I've seen that every so often where you'll, like when 3.18 came out, suddenly all of these missions are dropping, and suddenly all of these new, like small things, it's like, wow, okay, we're pulling things up. Think of them biddies there, Joy Pop. And I think that's what we'll see, we're seeing right now, is that as these new features coming out, we're going to start seeing a whoop. And then when the, of like content. And then when we have, it's odd. There's CIG big news and there's no Kotaku article. It's almost like they don't care unless it's bad news. We nerded out on Angry PC Tech's stream about how the server meshing and how the consensus was voodoo black magic. Yeah, Angry was here too with a couple other people, and they were all consensus was like, yeah, voodoo black magic. So do you think they'll start marketing 6 months prior to the end of polishing? Yeah, I do think that you're gonna have to get y'all will have to be prepared for CIG to be finished with the game and ready to go, and not releasing the game. Like literally just holding the game for 6 months. 6 months to a year. Because they need going gold. So it needs to go to the printers, which can take some time. They are going to be selling physical copies. There'll probably be special edition versions, which will have little statues and stuff like that. Mark my words on that. Plus, all of the copies they have to make that will go out for the people who actually pledged for those copies back 11 years ago. No, I agree. I think Invictus is the perfect release time, because I also think that summer releases are very few, so you don't have to compete with major releases when you release them in summer. Hey, Luna Maria. Well, we also know, because the dev slipped up. I'm going to exploit the dev slip up. I'm sorry, devs, but this is just what I do. A dev slipped up and mentioned, one of the cinematics artists mentioned they were working on a trailer for Squadron 42. And when everyone was like, wait, what trailer? The dev deleted the tweet. So it's like, so we're getting another trailer for Squadron 42. Okay. Which would make sense because we usually get something at the end of the year too. So maybe for the Game Awards, that'd be a good one. Could we fund I held the line tattoo for Astro? I will do a charity fundraiser. If we do a charity fundraiser, we might do that. Which dev? I am not going to throw them under the bus as I proceed to throw them under the bus. Let me pull up Discord. It wasn't I who saw it. It was a tree. Special editions, you think they'll have a discount for those that have Squadron 42 already? No. Nope. I think this will be like $150 with little statues and other things like that. That's kind of the standard thing that's done these days. Let me see the link. I see the post. Yeah, I'm seeing some stuff here. So it was some environments from the trailer I'm working on. Squadron 42. And there were some shots that were not in the actual like thing. So oh damn, I forgot their physical copies. Just check their USB drives and everything. Yeah. So they have to partner with a company to do that. So hi, AstroPub. The quantum bubble means another step towards planetary orbits, I think. What was the quantum bubble? I don't know. How ambitious do you believe base building will be? Out in 1 year, 3 years, 5 years? I'm guessing 3 years. I'm guessing 2. Though we may get like a very basic version, a tier 0 version at the end of next year. It's not that difficult to do because it's just taking the Rastar tool and adding a bunch of assets. The hard part is going to be all of the other ones, like building a building that you can go into and then can be depressurized or pressurized and has power. That shit's going to be pretty easy. It's just like a ship, but it doesn't move. Fucking super easy. Wear and tear states, power, resources, and that sort of thing. It's just a ship that doesn't move. And the hard part about ships is they have to fucking move. So that would be pretty easy. But I don't think CIG is going to go for that basic stuff. Do you think we'll get persistent hangars this year? 2023? No. Maybe 2024. Will base building be like No Man's Sky where you have to unlock parts and designs? Yes. They talked about the blueprints system. So yeah, you'll have to unlock blueprints by doing missions for specific organizations or buying them. So. Reload animations are fine. You don't think that persistence is going to be an issue with the bases? No, they've already said that they'll persist on the shards they're built on. So you have to know the shard they're built on, but you'll be put to those shards, or you'll have some way of finding out what shards they're on. The goal is eventually to have simply just one shard per like region. So North America, Australia, Asia, and Europe will all have one big shard. It just means that you go into a shard that you didn't build your base on, it won't be there. I don't think the bases are instances they can be attacked by other players. Yeah, they are. That's last we heard. It looks like some building assets are partially done. I think it's like ships and the animation that's the delay. What? Did they have a Big Benny's at CitizenCon? They had Big Benny. They served Big Benny's, but they're nothing like we had that one time. I think it's time for the community to cease previously unnecessary artificial inflation of estimated arrivals, while previously, I believe we're moving past their value. Lol, pipeline. Did someone mention pipeline? I will do a charity stream on the lead up to Squadron 42's release. And if we raise $10,000, I will get a Redeemer tattoo. Maybe a small one. I didn't see Dan Treffin, so I don't know. Don't quote me on that because I do have to. Pipeline just clipped me? For what? Oh, about the trailer? It's on my Discord. It's Tree who had that, not me. 24-hour charity stream? Maybe not 24-hour charity stream, but like a charity like week of streams for charity leading up to it. This is like reverse board gamering them. I mean, I'm not a credible source for those sorts of things. Like, I don't know any inside information about a second trailer other than Tree got a clip from Frank something or other, who said some environments of the trailer I'm working on, Squadron 42. Did they at least quote? They at least source me, chat? Did they actually fucking source me? They want a screenshot of the tweet? This is a quote screenshot. That's the problem. I don't actually see the tweet. So, that's this. But it was since deleted. Fucking get the name right, Pipeline. Okay, good. Let me double check the link. What Tree said is it was not a video. Let me see if I can find it. And this is also from the trailer I'm working on. So I think a lot of those were actually things, but I think that, yeah, that's what Tree is saying. Tree is saying that it was the trailer I'm working on, which is after it's already been out. Why would they be working on a trailer? And the Game Awards on the December 7th. So, yeah, but the Hold the Line's not a trailer. It's an update video. What the fuck is this? New paw colors? I have a white shirt now. Someone loses their mind. I mean, I know people on the pipeline or on my Discord. They can see what Tree said. It's just the verbiage is weird compared to what it was. I remember seeing the video as well. Seeing the tweet as well. Okay, I'm going to download this and put this up, though.
We'll be introducing new space stations on a massive scale, all brought together and designed to be as tangible as possible. We've thought about their
Argo ship.
function, their age,
Argo ship.
and tried to ensure there's a progression.
Argo ship. Argo barge. That wasn't a trailer. That was definitely a like a video, because it's like 20. Most trailers aren't 25 minutes. Argo Bargo, yes. And it was also posted about a day ago or 2 days ago, which would have been Tuesday. And it was deleted. Why would you delete it after that if there's nothing wrong with it? So almost certainly there's a trailer that's going to be posted. My guess is a gameplay trailer for the Game Awards, which would make sense. Yeah, see, that's my problems. I don't know why the fuck we don't have the game for sale. CIG, why don't you have the goddamn game for sale? It just seems weird, right? And I know a lot of people are like, well, because of EU rules, but I'm like, I don't think that's the case. I don't think it's the German law, though, y'all, because it's a very weird thing. Zeus history update soon, TM. I didn't do a Zeus video. I did a Zeus short, but I will do a Zeus video now. I mean, Star Citizen doesn't have a release date. All we know is that Squadron 42 was taken down, and the devs' statement was because it was to change the price. That's it. That could be true, Jaded. That it was a tweet that was drafted to go live around CitizenCon, and they accidentally screwed up the date and went after her. And they deleted it because it just was like, yeah, whatever. My guess is they wanted to increase the price. They're going to increase the price, and they wanted to stop people from buying it at a lower price before they did a big announcement about increasing the price. Because whenever CIG makes an announcement about increasing prices for things, everyone runs off and buys it real quickly at the lower price. And since Squadron 42 specific, like imagine if Squadron 42 was $45 right now. I mean, yes, they'd be making a fuck ton of money, but they could be selling it at 60. And that would make them another $15. It's a sale. It's a sale. No, Twitch should be working. Twitch is talking to me, so yeah. Argo is a good brand. Argo is amazing. Okay, I take down my May 18 and repost May 19. Instead, they lost $45 potential revenue every day since May 18. It's franchising. Things are not done without a purpose.
You can even take away my space lasers.
They could have easily just said, we're doing this to comply with EU law. That's all they could have said. I don't know why they'd have to be secret about it. That's like a pretty common thing. They do the same thing when they had to start charging VAT. Oh.
Branner just resubscribed for 20 months.
Branner, thanks so much for that Twitch Prime for 20 months. You were a very important public, very impressive pisser, very pedestrian. This is your fault. You're drinking that. Trust and cheers in chat, y'all. Trust and cheers. Yeah, so the law is very old. It's like a 2012, 2014 law, which was about a phone that was released, that was pre-sold without a release date. and they got sued about it, and then the German court said something to the effect of, if you're taking money for it, you have to have a release date of some kind, even if it's just a temporary hold release date. But again, it's back in like 2014. It's a very obscure German court case ruling. That's the only one that's been pointed to specifically for it, which is a very odd, small niche thing that came out. Those fines aren't cheap. They could just say that though, like, and if the EU was specifically saying you have to do this, then that would have been public knowledge. You'd be able to find that record somewhere, because those sorts of information I would assume is public information. It's a government entity telling a not a publicly traded company, but a incorporated company that they have to comply with a certain rule. But I don't see any references to that. That would have been out already. All that sort of stuff. They do. They're intentionally. Actually, I don't know why they're delayed anymore. I'm stupid. Hold on. I don't think I can change it though. They won't take forever to show up soon, because I can just go back to doing that. They take forever to show up. They do. But that's because I put a slow mode on it, or a delayed mode. But I can't change that after I go live. And now that Twitch has basically said, "Now you can do it fine," I'm just gonna take off the slow mode and be fine. Hey, TK Rex.
Tree_San just gifted 5 subs.
Thanks so much, Tree San, for gifting those 5 subs, you bastard.
Hey, a tip!
TK Rex super shot at $5. What do you think will happen with the Cutlass Black for its gold pass? It seems like it's being outshined by everything in its class, size.
It's fine. It's not designed. It's designed to be a master of jack of all trades, master of none. So it can do everything okay, but not any one thing really good. That's what it's supposed to do. Thank you, Slicer. It's a darker red tie, though, so. I heard the rumor that the Zeus reflects the new game balance of ships. Yes, which is the legacy ships. Do you think will leave most desperate need of a rebalance? The Freelancer? Probably the Cutlass as well, but the Cutlass, what the Cutlass needs to do is it needs to get its whole strength updated, because it's supposed to be incredibly beefy. It's supposed to be fast in a straight line, doesn't fucking turn for a bit for it all, but beefy. So a little bit more tough. It's supposed to be almost similar to Anvil, but Anvil maneuvers really well, but it's very slow in a straight line. So if they do anything, I think they'll take a lot of Morph's suggestions about the replacement of some of the assets, because Morph did some quick kind of like move around of like the beds and stuff like that, and it allows for better flow. And it's like, yeah, I mean, Morph's an architect. That's exactly what I'd expect him to know how to do. So it's a bull. Chargers can't. Chargers can't, but can't swerve. Yeah, yeah. Morph is he's tall. He's 6'4". Yes, I am a replicant. The whole Drake is paper narrative is BS. They need to be clear about what it means to be Drake. Yeah. Everyone's just short. No, everyone is tall. All content creators are tall. I'm 6'1" with shoes on. It doesn't need more main engines. It's fine. Because one of the things that the Cutlass has that we don't know about yet is tractor beams. The Cutlass has, I think, 2 tractor beams on it. So it has the ability to use tractor beams, but there's no tractor beams in game yet. So that's one of those things that'll make it improve a little bit more. Gabs is pocket sized. All right, I love you, Gabbies, but you are very small. You are very small. Yeah, we're getting tractor beams for 3.22, and one of those things is going to be the Cutlass. So, the 2 in the front, the 2 canards are the tractor beams. I don't know if there's one mounted above the rear. There might be. Two in the 3 tractor beams, 2 in the front, 1 in the back. Okay. I'd imagine those 2 in the front are the same tractor beam, though. In the new ship UI, when ships are fighting away, you can see sparks bigger than the ship itself. Is that a bug or it's on purpose? What? I didn't see the new ship UI for that. It's probably an over exaggeration to make it so you can see you got hits and stuff like that. Have they shown how to use them? Like, do we use a view screen or something? Yeah, I think it's a remote screen that you take control of. So it is basically the multi-tool, but the only one that they won't have in the first release is the Taurus, I believe, because the Taurus is a special type because it's a tractor beams that are attached to a turret. So multi-tool. The Raft too, yeah. The Raft isn't going to have its tractor beams, and the Connie isn't. Those are the 2 ones it won't. 315p will have its tractor beam. The SRV has its tractor beam. The C2 will have its tractor beam. What other tractor? There's not a lot of tractor beam ships. The Hull C will have its tractor beams. I don't know if the Reliant series has tractor beams, but it might. No, not the Connie. The Connie Taurus that won't have it in the first wave. It will eventually. Caterpillar has its 2 tractor beams. Yeah. I'm thinking the C1. I'm thinking the C1. The C1, not the C2. It's really hard to explain, but if you look at it's really hard to explain, but if you look at it, you'll understand that the only UI element that's not a hologram colored, and that's why I thought it was a bug. It might be, but I'd have to see what you're looking at. There's an old cinematic that showed the Cutlass stealing cargo off a Hull A with its front tractor beam. What are you supposed to do with that? Get out and move it to your hull later, or you can move it onto another ship, like a Caterpillar or something like that. Because I think you can still move the ship while tractoring. The Hull C has turret tractors, yes. MPVU cargo is kind of redundant compared to a tractor beam. You can't move cargo from space to from orbit to ground with a tractor beam, though. You can do it with an SRV, but an SRV is a complicated big machine compared to an MPUV, which is cheap as fuck. I think what the MPUV needs is either its own small tractor beam, or it needs a method for like some sort of attachment for picking up like crates and plopping them down. SRV's coming out in like a couple of months. So yeah, IAE would be my guess. Of course it's going to be a menace. Am I correct in thinking that you wouldn't be able to tractor a ship if the shields are on? I don't know the details of that, but I assume so. I assume the ship has to be in a in a soft death state for you to tractor it. The SRV, the tractor beams, there's a bunch of stuff which are committed to 3.21, but they're coming out in 3.21.x. They've already said that, so. MPU kind of sucks for orbit to ground too, since no QT drive. It's fine. It's not that much of a flight. It also doesn't use a shit ton of quantum fuel, or of a hydrogen, I should say. So it doesn't use quantum fuel, which is expensive. So you got to think about this in the terms of long-term logistics. The MPUV is a good ship for long-term logistics because it's pretty rugged. It has a pretty big hydrogen tank. So you don't, and it doesn't have complicated machinery really, so it's easier to maintain. So in game, it will be easier to use an MPUV on your bases that are remote than it is to another ship, which will have more frequent breakdowns, cost more to operate, and that sort of thing. In frontier settings, or just in general, because if you're operating a large amount of cargo, having a bunch of MPUVs is probably cheaper to operate than drones. Yeah, and the other thing to note is that, you know, that cargo bay that it has, it's removable. You can swap it out for a bunch of other different things, so it becomes a Swiss Army knife as well. You can swap it out so it can do rescue missions because it's the same size as the rescue life pod boats, like on the 890 and the Javelin and such. And we've theory crafted a bunch of ideas. They've talked about a salvage version, a medical variant, a mining variant. So there's a lot of different things you could do with those module swap outs. And turns into other things. What do you believe is needed for Argo Cargo to get its interchangeable modules released to the PU? Modular gameplay. They need to finish doing that stuff. But yeah, there's an MPUV-P and the MPVU-C. They're both right now separate ships, but they can, in theory, drop out those pods and replace them with each other, so. The MPVU is still a fantastic ship for what it can do, but it definitely needs some slight upgrades to continue to do what it was designed to do. Like, for instance, it'd be interesting if the MPUV also got a module that was just a tractor beam. So it's one of those little pods that's just a tractor beam amount. So you could slap some you could use it as to tractor goods and services, or tractor some services, tax services tractored, but to tractor things off and on to make it a cheap SRV. Yeah, tractor beam with an operator's cabin, something like that. Yeah, that's the easiest answer. Is just a tractor beam attachment. Yeah, but the tweet itself is important because it's mentioning a trailer, and it was tweeted a couple of days ago after that trailer had already been out, and the dev said specifically working on this trailer, and then they deleted the tweet after Tree started spreading it around and stuff like that. But I didn't go to Pipeline. I don't know why Pipeline's suddenly trying to fact check me. I didn't even talk with them about that. They just started using me as a source. I'm not a source. I just see what I see. I am the source. I am the signal. Remember when the big thing was Grabby Hands? Now it's Beam Citizen. Grabby Hands is still a thing. That's what the new EVA system is. MPVU Excavator, I could see that. Hope they add an 8-bit minigames to the MFDs. I do too. Magnetic Jazz Hands. Yeah, we're gonna watch the Destination Adventure one, but I've been streaming for a little bit longer, and everything started about an hour, so I'm gonna go get some more water and get up there. The location shown in the tweet were all shown in the showcase. Not clear if it's a new trailer or not. Yeah, that's the point. I was quoting somebody who said I think one of those shots was not in the game, was not in the thing. So I was going off of that. But the basic idea of a dev posted a bunch of screenshots saying the trailer they're working on, Tree retweeted it and then suddenly got deleted. That's a suspicious chain of events. I have had devs reach out to me because I caught them tweet something and I retweeted it, and they reached out to me and said, please remove that retweet, I fucked up. And I complied with them. So it's not that like devs haven't done that in the past. Man, I live in a tinfoil house, all right, Felony? That's Hopium Week, not Copium. Copium is like denial of things happening. Hopium is hope for the future, but may not happen. Yeah, Copium Week is like after the video game awards or whatever come out and there's no trailer. I like Chopium. It's 50% Copium and 50% Hopium, a good blend. Yes. Wing Commander and Simpods when? It's owned by EA. They would never have that happen, unfortunately. I am too. I have a wild suggestion. Modular structures that can be placed in cargo plates. For example, bed or chairs. Not too much. I've been a big believer of modular power plants, where you can do like power plants or even like refineries, which you can just put into cargo grids and have them work as long as they have power. We don't know when IAE is starting. That sounds about right. Modular bed. Yeah, those sorts of things. Oh yeah, once Squadron 42 comes out, I guarantee you we'll see Squadrons 2 for, a sequel to the Star Wars Squadrons, and we'll see Wing Commander. '17th of November? Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, it's usually a Friday, and then it goes through the next Monday. And typically it goes around American Thanksgiving, so that would check out. Though it could be a Thursday. You think drones will come with the Apollo? I mean, yeah, they're going to have something, and they're going to make the Apollo come out. I think they've been working on drones in the background for a bit. I think there's been a couple of mentions it here and there, and there was an early mention of drones a couple of years ago in a lore post, which, generally speaking, when the lore team is doing something and they mention something, that mention is probably the beginning of work or the end of work. If it's kind of an offhanded comment, it's probably the beginning of work. If it's the main focus or mostly the main focus in like a story or something, then it's the end of the work of that of that specific feature or element of the game. And there was a mention when discussing AI about the army developing using a system that was very similar to the system that the Drake Anvil used to develop the Valkyrie, to develop a bird, a drone that looks like a bird for the army, like a man-portable drone, something like that. Yeah, it's one of the few army lores we have, and that was a 2021, I want to say, maybe 2022, which screamed when I saw that. I was like, they've started working on drones because they're trying to give it some background. So. Bard is the Vulcan, and then there's the Nemo, which is the other one. So, was the Apollo even in the silhouette gallery at the end of the talk for the next 12 months? Yeah, I think it was, but if it wasn't, it was on the it was on ISC like 2 weeks ago, in gray box format or white box format. So it's like definitely being worked on if it's in white box. Yeah, Nemo is the Nautilus mine layer, and the other one is the Bard, which is the Vulcan one. And then the Apollo also has the remote drone, which is a medical kind of stretcher. So, Apollo did not appear in the 10-ship panel. Yeah, but it's in gray box or white box still. So. But if the question is, are we going to get drone gameplay with the Apollo? That would be my guess is yes. That'd probably be the first drones we got. They have drone bays. They don't have drones themselves. I don't believe they come with the drones, but they have places where you can launch and recover drones. Also, the Reclaimer has one as well. They have a drone bay as well. So the concept art for base building presentation had drones doing construction. It's always important to remember that concept art does not reflect gameplay. It is simply an expression of the artist trying out and doing new ideas. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw drones, because that's one of the things they want to try to do for loading and unloading cargo is drones. So they don't have to have complicated NPCs doing complicated things, because it's a lot easier to beam citizen and drone than it is to do other things. But they also want to add some variety, like, you know, Pyro probably doesn't have a lot of drones flying around. It probably uses good old-fashioned slave labor. But, you know. Yeah, but those were hacked drones, which were actually the camera drones from the Squadron 42 cinematic that they spun around a lot and used the camera lens as a beam. But they're called longshoremen. In Pyro, they're called cheap labor. I don't remember him saying it's in gray box. I remember him saying it's going to start production in Q1 of next year. But we'll watch the video, so we'll see right now. Oh, yeah, that's true. Slaves actually get cared for. So cheap labor tracks. All right, let's watch this, because I'm super tired, if you can't tell. Let's watch this and then get through it with some of this. This is a pretty cool one. Prisoners with jobs, yeah. Casual labor.
Hello and welcome to Destination Adventure. My name is John Griffiths. I'm the lead environment artist for EU Sandbox 2, and I'm the product owner for the distribution centers. Before we delve into, I'll put my slide on for a start. Before we delve into it, everything that you're going to see is currently in gray box, so just keep that in mind. So, these distribution centers, what are they? Well, first off, they're the biggest location we have on the ground outside of landing zones. The reason why they're so big is intentional. We wanted them to accommodate as much world and mission-based gameplay as possible. Each location supports multiple landing pads and hangars, making them accessible to as many players as possible at any one time. There's even a road network to support transit from the planet's surface, into the main building. And
it's not a road network. It's a road network in the sense of like for the distribution center, because it's the size of a city. The distribution center, from the looks of it, it looks like a small town. But this is what UGFs are. I don't know if this is what UGFs have become, or this is just a thing that they've played off of UGFs, but it looks very UGF-y.
To any birth ships. So every distribution center will be open.
We're not getting the P8AR until they start spawning them in with military members, because P8AR is strictly a military variant. So
Owned by a faction. You know, depending on the faction and where the distribution center is located on the planet will determine its specialism. Now, each specialism
what if you don't have a ground vehicle? You have two legs. Use them.
will lend itself to different missions and gameplay opportunities. So let's talk about some factions for a moment. So an example of a major faction would be the UEE. Now, at their distribution centers, they're likely to be more specialized towards military supply, research and development, or communications, depending on which branch of the UEE it is. They will have a much stronger military presence in the area. And missions here may be more hostile with combat-orientated, team-based raid opportunities. Other examples of hostile gameplay that we're thinking of is hacking and stealing, searching for and destroying a specific item, tracking and eliminating any VIPs, and everyone's favorite, eliminate all.
Why not capture? Capture would be a fantastic one. Go in, grab a VIP, capture them, throw them in a like a pod, and then have to fight your way out to go secure them. That's pretty cool. I don't know. Just thinking about that. Yeah, they call them distribution centers, but I think what they really are is just large warehouses or large facilities. They're just AGFs rather than UGFs, above ground facilities versus underground facilities. They're just AGFs would be what I called them. But they call them distribution centers. Is probably a placeholder name, but I like it. Amazon warehouse, yeah. That's all it is. Because like military warehouse or distribution center would be like a National Guard armory, something that so. Usually don't call like research and development labs distribution centers. So yeah, they're NPC-owned facilities, but they're facilities that generally exist above ground rather than underground.
Grey Cat Industrial would be an example of a minor faction. So their distribution centers will be more specialized towards gathering resources, manufacturing, assembly, shipping. There would be a security presence here, but it won't be that as strong as a major faction. And missions here would be more suited to friendly gameplay loops, though we won't be ruling out hostile missions like corporate espionage. Some other friendly gameplay types. Cargo hauling, like I said, resource gathering and mining, maintenance of the location. But you know, that's enough of me talking.
We get to replace, we get to repair, and oh, that's great. I like it. I mean, this is really corporate town is what this is. This screams corporate town, like a company town, you know. But I really do hope CIG does put in actual fucking towns into the game. But don't the UGFs both have an above ground and below ground? They do, but the above ground is very limited and most of it is underground. This seems like it's just the above ground sections and it has like warehouses on top of it and stuff like that. Hey, I'm also very into shipping. My fave is Ketzelhart. Has CIG started to re-add hangar variants with ship sales? No, I don't think so. Do you think with that a lot of devs are moving over to back to Star Citizen stuff means we'll see a lot of features coming back quicker than we were used to? Yes, but I think we also have to wait for things like server meshing and the replication layer. So we saw these a few months ago. They called them the new UGF, similar idea, but expanded town concept. Yeah, these are almost carbon copies of the new UGFs. And I think they're still going to have UGFs. It's just these are more sprawling above ground than they are below ground. So St. Peter, don't call me 'cause I can't go. I sold my soul to the company store. 16 SCU number 9 quant. Yeah, I can't. It doesn't really work, but it works.
About it. How about we show you where we're up to with these distribution centers?
Trailer. Now these may also be the UGFs. They may just be the UGFs. And they just call them distribution centers now. But usually they'll say, hey, we used to call it this, now we're calling it that. They didn't say that, so. Yeah, it seems like that they're supposed to be mission hubs for hauling gameplay. They say that a little bit later too. So. Yes, these are Montreal's work. This is all Montreal stuff. And Montreal was the one that was making the UGFs, so that does track. That would probably be worth a question at Spectrum. Is this just the new UGFs rebranded? I'm designing to kill your head there. That's what's supposed to.
Thank you. So to talk you through the corporate spaces at these locations, please welcome Rainer Rick to the stage.
I know he's Sandbox 2, but Rainer Rick is Montreal.
Hello,
so this
hello.
guy here is Montreal.
So my name is Rainer Rick. I'm a lead environment artist at the Montreal studio, and we've been working with John's team on the distribution centers. So John just showed how massive these locations are. He also presented the industrial sections on the ground level. And I'm here to present the administrative area of these facilities that the Montreal team has been working on. So they're located above ground, just below.
Distribution centers is a more working name for UGFs, as UGF sounds kind of silly. Distribution centers grounded in lore. To a degree. I would need to know like a CIG dev to confirm that though. Because it does look a lot like the UGFs.
Below the tower highlighted in the picture. Inside you'll be
It will always be too much, Starmania, because I am too much.
able to explore the corporate office space and interact with the administrative personnel. accessible via the lifts in the hangars, and also the industrial sections we saw earlier. In addition, we've added also landing pads in front of the lobby, specifically designed for smaller ships and ideal for short stays like pickup or delivery missions. And we can't ignore the fantastic views we have from these platforms, a reminder of the vastness of these facilities. Now, let's step inside the lobby. You'll find the atrium, which is a central point of the administrative area, providing access to various locations of the corporate space. Within this space, you'll find the reception desk, and as a newcomer, you'll be expected to report here first. So here you can hand over your deliveries or pick up packages and earn reputation points with that faction.
Yes, these are faction bases, is what they are. So there's specific faction locations where you go and do missions for factions. CIG has talked about in the past about moving missions away from your mobiGlas to actual locations to make you actually travel to places, which, you know, is going to slow down the gameplay a lot more, but it's also more immersive.
So also expect to see corporate ownership reflected through branding, color schemes, and product placement throughout the corporate hub. And with the use of
25% off your next Steve if you kill enough Ninetales. I like that, Mick.
overlays, we'll be able to swap these out depending on the ownership. And here's an example with Grey Cat showcasing their vehicles and some shiny armor.
I like it.
And back on the topic of reputation, as it grows, you can expect to gain access to the executive office spaces. From here, you'll meet with unique quest givers, and depending on your reputation level, you'll receive various mission types.
What are the chances of CIG making these too easy catering to solo players? They won't. There'll definitely be some solo aspect, but it's going to be kind of a combination of the two.
They're friendly or hostile. And finally, the distribution centers were designed as an evolving location. We've built this with future expansion in mind. Okay. And in the back of the lobby, for example, doorways could eventually lead to additional office space. So, enough talk. Just before I show our progress so far, I want to give a big thank you to the Montreal team for their work on the administration area. Thank you.
Someone said earlier, like, why are they doing all this gameplay if they don't have the economy? They actually said that until they have the gameplay in, they don't know how to hook that gameplay into the economy. So they need to have that work first. So that's one of the reasons why Quantum was paused, was because they were trying to get aspects that they wanted put into the game first, and then the aspects that they want Quantum to control, but they don't have that ready yet. So it doesn't make sense. Yeah, UGF is an underground facility. It's a generic term for a class of structure or building where it just in underground. That's all it was. It was CIG's just term for like bunkers. So when what we call bunker missions is CIG calls UGFs. That was just a generic term. I think based off of what we see here and based off what we've seen in the past, the UGFs have now transitioned to become called distribution centers, and they kind of function like org bases.
And as John mentioned, we're still in gray box phase, so just keep that in mind. But let's take a look.
The fact they're in gray box tells me that this is not something like this is something brand new. It's like, but all these look like UGFs. So yeah, they're just called distribution centers now. Aren't these the places that are also going to be doing raids? It's later in this video. Yeah, so. Montreal. Okay, I get it. Oh yeah, almost certainly raids will give you blueprints. That makes sense. You're going into a corporate office and stealing shit? Of course you're getting blueprints. Raiding them Grey Cat blueprints. I know that old bastard has some blueprints still left around here. It's actually in lore that like most of the shit that Grey Cat does was built by one dude like 300 years ago. No, 700 years ago. Like the multi-tool was invented 700 years ago. Same with the Ariel armor. And they've just kind of been updating it ever since. Even the PTV was designed as for the same reason, and they kind of modified it. And supposedly that dude, the engineer who's the brainchild behind all of it, left a shit ton of paper everywhere. So there might be more blueprints. Oh, I did go full geek mode. I am full geek. I don't know what you're talking about. Or Montreal. Nice ball. Very cool.
Thank you very much. And now let me welcome back John on stage. He's going to continue the presentation. Thanks a lot, guys.
You think with him in gray box now, Q3 next year, we'll get a sniff of one in game? Probably more like Q2, because this is EU Sandbox 2 and Montreal. If they're talking about this now, it's 6 months away. Gray box is the second to last step, and it's been in gray box for a little bit now, so a couple months now. So it looks like it's heading. Once they start going to Lot 0, it's it's one patch away. Once it's in Lot 0, as long as everything works. So, and that has, other aspects to it as well. Acquiring STCs. Oh God. That is basically what blueprints are.
Team did a great job with that video. Okay, so something we've been working on that's unique to this location is raids. Click on. So raids are team-based missions with a focus on high-risk, high-reward operations. As Carl mentioned previously, you'll be able to choose how you gain entry to these locations. Coming prepared and geared up will make the difference between success and failure. Ultimately, you'll need to work together in order to succeed.
Since the Pioneer will be able to building XL buildings, what's the scope of the XL category? We build something to scale these distribution centers? I doubt it. I imagine it's like the larger buildings, like the hydroponics bays and those sorts of things.
So these raids will have you breaching the interior of the main structure.
You're wild tonight. New shirt, spicy leaks hinting at a possible relationship with the Redeemer. It's only Thursday, sir.
Highlighted here. Now, each interior will comprise of rooms that reflect the location.
I'm tired, that's why I'm spicy.
For example, a shipping focus distribution center will have rooms dedicated to the storage of cargo. Looking to the future, we're planning on having distribution centers with subterranean levels that will be accessed from this interior space. These will expand upon and increase the difficulty.
Took a bit of hiatus since PES and the game being unstable. Got back to it after CitizenCon. What's the deal with Pyro? Is it still server mesh dependent, or are they instancing or just doing one server still? So it's still server mesh dependent. They're going to be doing what they call a preview channel, where they're going to put Pyro into a specific build of the game, which you can play on October 31st, but it's going to work like the PTU, where it's going to go, certain people have first access, and then they'll go through the PTU waves and allow people to play it. But instead of it being on PTU, it's on live. It's just what they call a preview channel. So it's going to run concurrently on the live servers, but with a different setup. And that's coming out on October 31st, so next Tuesday is when that comes out. It's also testing the replication layer, which is the new separation thing they had to do before they got to server meshing. They also showed off the replication layer and the server meshing at CitizenCon this last weekend. They showed it working. They did a live demonstration of it with a couple of rooms in the game. So It will be worked just like Stanton. You won't have Stanton in that preview. You'll just have Pyro. So you go to Persistent Universe, you go to Pyro, and then you'll spawn just like you do now. But you won't have the option to go to Stanton. Yeah, you just spawn Checkmate Station. It's the thing that we played. It's the Pyro Playground. What we played in we had at CitizenCon. So. Yeah, I don't know how you do it. I'm still trying to catch up with sleep. And I just work. That's the great content. Thank you. I'm trying to do both, work and sleep and do this. So, but I was Evocati, but So people are trying to work like live PTU, EPTU now, right? Yeah. I don't know why they did it. I imagine it's because it's all current build stuff rather than, alternate build stuff. So I don't know why it's called the live preview. Maybe it might be because you don't have to download new stuff, maybe. I don't know. Will Evo get it first or it's just the lottery? I think it's the lottery, but anyone who has a ticket to CitizenCon, I believe, also gets first wave. Because there's like a code that if you got a CitizenCon ticket that you can redeem that will have that, so.
Difficulty of these raids. Now let's take a look at one of these raid missions in action, but please note that this is early gameplay prototype of a raid.
Oh, that's Flak. That was Flak. Oh no, it might have been, he might have popped noise. Using it as a shield. I love it.
The Girl, super short at $4.99. Visit my office at GreekCat. Please park on pad 4, take the left entrance, use elevator 6 to floor 3 seconds. 43A past Armory 3S in Executive Sec 9. Coffee $4 U.
Thank you, Glass Sword. Thank you for that $4.99. That's great. I love that idea. I mean, you could also probably get serve like offices and stuff like that at those places. Maybe like a bed you can rest in too. So I love this trolley. It's so jank. I love it. Where it just runs by you running on it. This is literally a raid. Get in, kill everyone, get out. Yeah, was that a Team Fortress 2 payload?
Thank you. So, as you saw in the video, the team took a more aggressive approach to getting inside and taking what they wanted. But this isn't the only approach you can use. Multiple points of egress allow you.
My guess at Parky is you do raids, you get hired to do raids to go in and raid for somebody else so you can get reputation and money, especially like corporate espionage, so like rival corporations, possibly raiding like outlaw versions of these bases, which have been taken over by outlaw groups, to gather materials that they've stolen. You could do things like this for outlaws hiring you to raid like legitimate bases for stuff. I imagine it's base-based, or it's mission-based rather than net. So it's like a raid, but it's a mission-based raid.
Allow you to be stealthier, and it may make it easier for you to avoid obstacles in your path. Now, reputation will also tie into these raids. Missions will have varying objectives depending on the player's reputation level, and dynamic events may also be triggered during the raid, so players will need to adapt to an evolving situation. This could range from dealing with additional security personnel to other players arriving to defend the location against you. Something else we've been prototyping is how we can utilize the multi-tool to create gameplay puzzles. Physically interacting with the environment around you changes the puzzles for everybody. With multiple add-ons for the tool available, you may have to get creative when finding a solution to the problem in front of you. In this next video...
Why do they not use a cutlass steel? Because the cutlass steel is garbage. I love it, but it's garbage.
we show you how using the tractor beam attachment can open up new paths to your objective, but it's up to you to decide what path you can create with what is available. Let's watch the video.
Hi, Paul. I'm getting Star Citizen, getting exciting again, I guess. So I'm back. Wanted to go meet you at CitizenCon maybe next year. Maybe. Yeah, I saw this live. This was interesting. Dev Ames is insane. Yeah. I could also see another use for that. Hurston has probably these facilities. That would be a great mission. Those would be great missions for the United Workers of Hurston.
So,
UWH.
Yes, thank
That's
you.
a perfect
Now,
mission set for them. Go in,
was,
smash shit up, steal some Hurston shit, and get out.
With
That's
several people
perfect.
at CIG, so thanks go to Manuel, John, Jack, Martin, Farouk, Luke, Chris, Mustafa, Sam, Tom, and Rob. You've been excellent. Thank you to Rainer and his team in Montreal.
We spoke at CitizenCon about how they showed Squadron 42. You have to give up sleep with everything you wanted to do. Is that still the case? Yep.
None of this would be possible without their efforts. And yeah, thanks to everybody here and online watching. Really appreciate your support. On to the next one.
Hello. This is a good segue from the distribution centers, as I'll be talking to you about different aspects of cargo and freight on behalf of art and design. My name is Nick Etheridge, and I'm an assistant environment art director. So obviously, cargo isn't just about boxes.
20 minutes left.
It's a big part of the game. Almost every aspect of the game has some kind of involvement with cargo. And I'm going to briefly go through some of them now.
Hey, man, I dare you to read my name out loud. Agus Puig. Agus Puig.
So let's start with missions. How will hauling contracts work in-game? We'll be introducing the Interstellar Transport Guild, as well as formalizing some of the main hauling and cargo companies that you'll be working with.
I don't need coffee. I need sleep. But I'm almost like, once we get through this, we'll kind of do. This will be a shorter one, a shorter one than my normal one. So
as you do more hauling contracts, you will build up your reputation and relationship with the guild. This will lead you to gaining more lucrative contracts for specialized cargo and destinations, such as different forms of hazardous cargo, perishable cargo, riskier routes, and more.
The guild. Yeah.
So what do I mean by hazardous and perishable? Well, as you know, there's lots of commodities in the game, and different commodities have different properties. As you know, with events like Xenothreat, we have some special cargo types with different attributes, such as time-sensitive cargo or quantum-sensitive cargo. But those were a small selection for the...
I believe it's just regular hair for Q4 until they get the new character customizer, which I don't think is Q4. But we're getting the new new heads and hairstyles for Q4. It's hard to tell, because they did also seem to say that the system that they have for Squadron isn't ready to port over to Star Citizen yet. I wouldn't be surprised if we got it for Q1 though.
The event, and they were the two-handed carryable types anyway. We'll be expanding those types, plus lots more types, to the wider game and to these hauling contracts. So how does this affect gameplay? It will affect the choices you make when you are handling, storing, and traveling with the cargo.
That's fucking amazing. So that means size and weight will matter, and health and shielding. So like mass will be a thing, which is great. And also, you know, don't carry radioactive material in a cardboard box.
For example, with size and weight, is it carryable? Do you need a tractor beam? What type of tractor beam do you need? Is it a handheld one or a ship tractor beam? Some containers can only be moved with ship tractor beams, for example.
Yeah, most of it was PU ready status. The thing what they showed off with the character customizer was that's literally the character customizer for Squad 42. Like they talked about Project Calliope, like the Calliope system created by Biotic Corp. That is how we are going to be able to change our appearance in game on the fly. It is a in-house sort of outpatient surgery material that can change anything about you in lore, including your, you know, physical appearance. So you can switch from a male to a female profile, or, you know, the different types of body types. You can have different anything, and that's where you're going to do the customization, probably for a moderate fee. So,
with health, has the container got good integrity? Is it holding fragile goods? Do you need to handle it with care? You can't just throw all containers about.
The Taurus will have a tractor beam, but I don't think it's going to have it in the first wave of it. They have to do something else for it to get it in there. You're not doing capsules?
For temperature control,
last night. I did a capsule last night, so.
To ensure the container is powered so it can keep the contents cool. Or do you need to get to your destination quickly? Otherwise, the contents may perish. For security, can the container be locked or hacked? Can the contents be scanned, or is the container tracked? Will there be pirates or law after you when you're holding this container? Hazard containment. Is it radioactive? You might need the right protection against it, as you may have seen in Jens's presentation earlier. Can it explode? You might not want to put these containers on a more exposed section of your ship. And many of these attributes are going to be visually distinctive. So conversely, if you want to steal, for example, some cargo on a hull C, which does have very exposed cargo containers, you might want to avoid shooting blindly and accidentally blowing up your potential profits. So look out for those types of containers.
Big water.
Back to mission progression. We'll be introducing perks and rewards as part of fulfilling contracts and raising reputation with these companies.
We all cheered
The
for
rewards
this one.
will have branded ship and tool skins, branded clothing. There will be collectibles to decorate your hab, hangar, or ship, or you can put them anywhere you want.
I remember seeing this.
And there'll be more exclusive rewards that we'll be revealing later.
And hold on, wait for it.
Thank you.
He'll say it, and we all lose our mind.
For perks, you'll get access to more items in shops and discounts on specific items. And all of these rewards and perks you need to earn in the game. You cannot just buy them.
We lost our shit. Yep. You can hear me in that chat crowd. It's like, yes!
Next, let's have a look at freight elevators and hangars. I knew you'd be excited for this. I'd like to show you a short video to demonstrate how freight elevators will change how you view your hangars and how you use your hangars.
It's so cool. This is so good. We were talking, me and Meyer were talking to Dave Haddock when this came out, and Meyer and I saw the thing that came out later, and we're like, sorry, Dave, and we just ran off screaming like madmen when that's the next part. That was Croncy, yeah. No, this part here is what I'm talking about. So notice how they're all different sizes. Like a lot of people are complaining about like, oh, it's going to take us forever to hand load things. Like not really, because each different, because they're not dealing with one SCU containers, you're dealing with bigger containers. So it'll take you less time because you have more people, more like larger containers. But yeah, it's not going to be in 3.22, but it will probably be in 3.23. Many hands make light work. The relay system. We used to do this for Jumptown. Also for Xenothreat. That's one of the things everyone started using. The sled. That was me, actually. You hear the cough? That was me.
No.
This is when we ran off screaming. Look at this. Fucking, like, weapon containers. Medical device. That was the like, first aid kit.
Thank you. Thank you. So, as you can see, hangars, they will become persistent and personal, meaning you can stay there as long as you want. Whatever you leave there will persist and will be yours to use as you see fit. Your hangar won't just be a place that you leave from in your ship. It will become a key base of operations to handle your inventory and storage needs, and you'll be able to request your ships from an ASOP terminal from within the hangar itself. Location inventories won't be magic and instant anymore. This means that the freight elevators will be one of the main ways you interact with your local inventory.
Yeah, so that's how you're going to interact with your local inventory. You can no longer just pull up your mobile glass or pull up your inventory anywhere as long as you get close and do it. I know a lot of people are upset about that. I think it's pretty cool because it actually makes the game feel more alive. Yes, I know it's going to get tedious for some people, but it also it forces you to plan. So.
Items stored at the location can be requested via the elevator kiosks and will be brought up in a physical...
Initially, they will be instance hangars before persistent hangars. That's what they are, Shimpasta.
...state to do with as you want. This would be done through a dedicated interface screen to manage large volumes.
What's the point of cargo decks now? Imagine the cargo decks will be places you sell stuff, but also stuff where you load it onto the cargo elevators. Like buy stuff and you load it on the cargo elevators and then go down there. But we could see the cargo decks completely disappear. I mean, right now they're used as mostly shops, but
of items, it won't be using the personal inventory system. The change is obviously a really big quality of life improvement to retrieving ground vehicles. No longer do you have to travel thousands or millions of kilometers to specific places in the verse to get your vehicle. You will get them straight from your hangar.
The hangars will exist at every place there's a hangar. So, like, stations too. But you probably won't see this on, like, outposts. Unless they're the new, what are they called? Distribution centers, which do have hangars on them.
You'll also be able to...
Yeah, you'll need the cargo decks, but you think about the cargo deck we have right now. How is that going to load and unload whole sea stuff? I think what we're going to see is more like the cargo elevator that we saw there, just translated into outer space rather than going into a hangar. That's probably what we'll see.
To bring up ship components, so your hangar is now more of a maintenance bay and outfitters where you can do repairs and swap around items and things like that. So in short, persistent player hangars in combination with freight elevators will dramatically change what you can do in your hangar. It will be a home to do as you want, which has always been the dream. That concludes my presentation. Thank you very much for listening. And I will pass you over to Todd Pappy.
Logistics citizen.
CitizenCon.
Here's the big one. Here's the big one, Chad.
Come on, I can't hear you. All right, there we go. So, we'll be talking today about something special. It's an update on something that we talked about a little while ago, but we feel it's the future of Star Citizen, and it's the culmination of multiple different game systems coming together.
If you haven't seen this chat,
play the
prepare
video?
yourself. Prepare yourself. I'm just going to stop and let it go. When we saw the land claim site, we lost our minds. When they announced this, they tweeted it out, and Satisfactory replied to it by saying, "This is illegal," or "That's illegal." Was their response? But wait, that's illegal. Oh, it was so much loud. The entire like convention center was like echoing with cheers. It was absolutely nuts. So yeah, so that beam was mining beam. They had hydroponics. They had a hangar, a garage, and they had a medical facility. So.
All right, so base building. All right, it breaks down into two really large gameplay sections, planning ahead and prepping, and then you've got the on-site where you're actually gonna build. So with that, you need to figure out what your goal is. Is it to have a home with a nice view and relax? Is it
Museum, Todd. I want to build a museum.
to have a trading post where you want to create and sell items? Is it to gather resources available and move on to the next area? Or is it to be off grid and be completely self-sufficient? So with that, with your prep and everything like that, we've got blueprints. So the recipes.
You got to answer the three basic questions of economics. What are you producing? How are you producing it? And who are you producing it for? That's the three main questions of economics. Those you have to answer in that situation effectively. This was a fucking amazing thing. Like the fact that they talk about these blueprints ideas as recipes, it's great. It's like, it's very MMO, but it's been done in other games, but I could see the unique twist on it and that kind of stuff. It's great. It's fantastic.
Everything in the game is fabricated from a blueprint. Players acquire blueprints via reputation rewards, missions, or rare.
Yeah, you can see it right here. It says blueprint. That's probably just an artist rendering right now, but it looks like a disk drive of some kind. But it's also an homage to 80s, 70s, and 80s sci-fi, so it kind of works.
NPCs. With any blueprint, you can actually do research on it and then create different variations.
Yeah, this is
with
crafting.
Materials ranging from the common to ultra rare, you might find them at the local shop or have to travel around the universe to collect them. Unrefined, refined, simple materials, or even complex components will all go into the fabrication.
They've all said that, I'll back it up a little bit, but he says right here, obtained via reputation rewards, mission rewards, rare shopkeepers. Now, CIG has said that in the past, and they sold stuff anyways. So I do not put it past CIG to sell blueprints. Because Chris Roberts could be in this chat right now and come to me in this chat and say, we will never sell blueprints for actual money, and I still wouldn't believe him because they've already said that in the past and gone back on it. So I believe they probably will sell blueprints at some point on the site for money. That being said, everything will be obtainable in game. So
simple materials or even complex components will all go into the fabrication. With this, then you got location, location, location. First area is high security, so you must purchase the land. The base is actually invulnerable because the planetary shield tech. A security will show up to protect it as well.
Planetary shield tech, which this confirms that you can actually put shields on bases, which is how you protect against bombing. So that's how it's going to work.
You pay for the privilege, you're taxed. So at this point, you won't have the best resources available. You won't have access to the best resources available on the planet. If you don't pay your taxes, the shields will go away after a period of time, and the base will become derelict and will collapse. But this is low risk, low reward. Then you've got low security. So again, you must purchase the land. It's owned by an independent corp, gang, or faction. Again, you don't have access to all the best resources on the planet. The base is vulnerable. AI NPCs will show up and protect the base if it's attacked. The protection will escalate over time. Player can also build defenses to help mitigate this as well. And then it's medium reward, medium risk. Then you've got lawless. So this is no protection other than what you build. There's shields, anti-air. Players can disable the shields by getting close to them and destroying them. High risk, high reward. Since there's no taxes, no protection fees, you get a high return on the resources that you collect. Now, there's some cross-shard and server meshing considerations that will kind of adjust this design in the future, but we'll get into that later once we're really building it. So from here, you've got the tools. So this is what we would consider a surveyor.
This right here, surveyor.
With this, we want to actually cater to everybody's playstyle, whether you're solo or in an org. With this, you got different buildings that you can produce, from small, medium to large to XL or XL. So with the surveyor tool, you can only build the small buildings. With a vehicle, you can build small.
Look at that Atlas! Look at that Atlas, baby! I love it. The Atlas vehicle.
Small and medium-sized buildings. With the Galaxy, you can build small to large structures. And then obviously with the Pioneer.
So the Galaxy, a lot of people are like, wait, how does that happen? They mentioned a fabrication module, a crafting module that would be sold with the Galaxy at some point. So that's how.
Pioneer can do it all, and it still works as a mobile base, and we'll talk about some of the more expanded features that we're adding to it in later on. So, and then it's also, we're exploring.
Atlas is anything it wants to be, baby. It is a mobile. It is a utilitarian system. My military folks, there is 1 or 2 of those systems in place in the U.S., and I know they're probably overseas as well. That's like HIMARS is part of it. It's like a Hammett, I believe is what it's called, the Hammett series of vehicles, which is you have different styles that you can use with Hammett. But that's basically what the Atlas is. It's just the Atlas modular system. Not Hemi. I can't remember the name of it. It's it's like I said, HIMARS is part of it, but there's also versions of it that are like cargo and other things as well.
What can be done in space, not just on the planet. So from here, you set off on your journey.
In space, he said it. I didn't even think. Oh yeah.
So with the land claim,
HEMMT chassis. Yeah, thank you, Treesan. That's what I'm talking about. It's the same. I think that's the same chassis. And there's other things for it too.
You put your tool,
radar, and other things like that.
Down where you want. You
It
launch
says in
the drone.
space. That means you can make a station. They want to make stations. Yeah. The heavy expanded mobility tactical truck, HEMMT, is an 8-wheel drive truck, diesel powered, 10 short ton tactical truck, and has different like payloads you can put onto it, which I believe is one of them is the HIMARS missile system, but it's other things as well.
That is built into the machine, and then from there, this allows the player to access the base building and also land claim mode.
Are they called Dragon Wagons, Vastin?
Land claim modes, the player can actually change the size and position of what area they want to claim, and it also shows you the cost.
Yes, AHSVA or AHSVS. Okay.
Cost and taxes associated with it. If it's in a taxable zone and you don't own the land, this interface will default to it. So if you own land or it's in a lawless area, it'll automatically go to base building mode. So with the overhead view of the land, you can actually place down buildings exactly where you want. You can see the resources beneath the surface, and then you can also place multiple buildings before you actually build. So you can see how it will all kind of come together. You'll see the resources that are needed for it. And then you can also switch back and forth between different modes, which are showing off the resource network and how you link basically power generators to consumers. And then the player can move or deconstruct existing buildings right now with no charge. Fabrication. So when you basically build these buildings, they don't come with any furnishings. And if you
do you think they'll charge IRL money to buy land in game? They've already done that. Black Intellect. Did you forget that? They've already sold land claims for money. So of course they're going to do it. There was a big kerfluffle about it.
you didn't bring any with you, then you want to build a fabricator. So depending on with no charge. Fabrication. So when you basically build these buildings,
it's ridiculous.
They don't come with any furnishings. And
I know,
if you didn't bring any with you,
wasn't it like $50 for an 8x8? It was expensive.
then you want to build a fabricator. So depending on what you want to build, there's different sizes of them.
From decorations
that support
to ships.
buildings from decorations, armor, weapons, components, and even ships.
Now let's keep this in mind. Let's keep this in mind. I don't think you're going to be building capital ships on these fabricators. I do think you'll probably be building things like the 300i, maybe even the Hornet, like the F7C, or even larger ships like the Freelancer, maybe the Connie. But I don't think you're going to be building the Starfield style ships, and I think you're still going to need blueprints for them, that kind of thing. So. Does the Pioneer still come with a land claim? I don't know if it does or not. It did initially when you bought it, it came with it, but I don't know if it does anymore. We're barely a week out from the FC thing, and people think there's anything CIG won't decide to sell. Yeah, no, I said everything's out the window after the F8C. I don't believe that CIG will sell anything and everything they can monetize.
So like base building mode, you need blueprints, resources to craft what you want.
You got one last year. It has one. Okay, so the ship comes with the land beacons, the claims. So
everything fabricated is produced it produces a physicalized entity. Stats and quality will depend on the quality of the materials actually used. Once you've done that and you've built your decorations, now you can actually fill the room the way that you want to fill it.
That is an artifact, sir. That is an artifact. It should not be displayed in your home. It should be displayed in a museum. I need to know your location so I can acquire this artifact and return it to its proper place. I never said lore was a legal organization. Lore will be giving out requests to heist people's random homes for artifacts.
So furnishings can be purchased at different locations, or they can actually be fabricated. You can do that via first person or in a dedicated mode in the surveyor.
Angry violin music and insurance.
With that, you've got different types of buildings. So you've got utility style, which would be garages, freight elevators, landing pads, storefronts. And then you've got extractors. So with extractors, we want to make sure that nothing in regards to resource gathering is fully automated. A level of player engagement is always needed. So as Nick talked about before, there are different types of commodities, radioactive, perishable, etc. What you'll be doing is pulling out full containers.
I'm not sure about having a work in progress image for art. I mean, it makes sense.
Then from there, it'll be repairing, or there's wear and tear associated with it, or even misfires like you saw in Thorsten's talk. And
multiple CIG devs I've talked to mentioned as an inspiration, their inspiration in Star Citizen as Star Wars Galaxies. I'm not shitting you. Multiple of them has said, yeah, start the closest thing that I can imagine for Star Citizen, Star Wars Galaxies. So yeah, like they're leaning into being Star Wars Galaxies 2.0.
Guillermo's talk, yeah.
Do you think that the planets that the Vanduul took will still be habitable, or will they be glorified asteroids? Some of them are glorified asteroids. Laser swords confirmed then. They're called beam swords, okay? Because this is Beam Citizen, Kavion.
Yesterday. There's also upgrade paths for making them more efficient or resilient. Power generators. So with different types of power generators,
So that is a shield generator. I've seen Star Wars.
There'll be some that are more cost-effective as well as effective in different areas. Solar.
No, the beam sword is the thing that comes equipped. You get all Titan suits come equipped with the beam sword as a melee weapon, as a backup melee weapon. I've seen enough Gundam to know where that's going.
Panels will not always work in darkness. Fuel generators will need to be filled up every now and then batteries to store excess power. Then you've got producers, so things that will require the players to combine different resources to produce new items. And then you've got defense, so anti-air, anti-personnel, and then shield generators.
Fuck your bombs!
And then the big one. We start development Q1. So, that's me. Thank you all. Thank you for coming. It's wonderful to see you.
That was fantastic. It was great. Oh, yeah. No, it's 2 years. Easy 2 years. Now, it depends on which team gets a hold of it. If it's the Montreal team, I give it a year. Or the EU Sandbox team, it's a year. If it's the North American team, they're still kind of recovering a little bit. So probably maybe, or like LA or Austin. Well, I guess Montreal is also part of North America now. So yeah, well, it's hard to see. They didn't say we wouldn't get it next year. That's true. We could get it next year, but I doubt it. I believe Galaxy was in the 10 ship panel. Give it to Montreal, it'll be done by May. I don't say this as like Montreal being some sort of wizard team. They kind of are, but the reason why Montreal is so good is because they are solely dedicated to the whole thing. Astro, which will be the first base building ship to release? Probably the small ones, like the sled and the Atlas variant that they showed. But my guess would be the Galaxy would be the first one, not the Pioneer. To be fair, the Napu team only just started working, because that Napu also includes Montreal now. CR said within 12 months. Yeah, because CR is never wrong about dates, Foxtrot. let's be real here. CR saying a date is like me claiming I'm the king of England. Could be true. Probably not. Thank you, Execute. It's kind of an off-white because of the coloring and the green screen, but... Fortnite owners can finally build their own X1. That's the only way they're going to get it. Imagine if we could build a fob with the mule like PS2. That'd be kind of cool. That'd be good use for the mule. Right now, the mule doesn't have a lot of usage. I know that it's going to be able to move cargo and stuff like that. I know a lot of people are like, well, you have the hover sled. So give the hover sled takes power. So, and it's space. So. Well then, Your Majesty. CR said at ILW 2022 that Behavior 2, Bounty Hunter version 2 and Hull C would be out by end of year 2022. Well, I mean, Hull C was out in end of year 2023, or middle of the year, right? Yeah, so he's just a few months off. Astro, aside from its size and the largest build limit, do you think that Pioneer will have any other unique features? It's a flying base. That's what it is. So if you want to land that shit on a planet, it's a base. So you can use it as a forward operations base or manufacturing. You can use it for, you know, housing people, apparently. So. Mobile construction vehicle from CNC. Yeah, we do. It's the Atlas chassis thing they have. So a good pirate target. I mean, it's like a. I can't think of it. It's like a flying hotel or motel. So. The stupid cargo toboggan, no one will use for its intended purpose. We're all going to be jumping in there and putting guns down on that thing. If they let us build deployable guns, fuck, we're putting deployable missile launchers and guns, and we're just walking around with it as a floating toboggan of death. The death sled, the battle trolley. Pioneer's supposed to have flak turrets. Okay. Yeah, they need a Grand RV. So I don't know, I've only been streaming for 2 hours, but I'm going to call it a little early tonight, mostly because my nose is getting stuffed up because of all the rain that we had today. And I'm also falling asleep because I didn't get any sleep. So I'll give it a few more minutes and call it out. But I will be back tomorrow. But tomorrow I'm not going to be doing any more watch stuff. I'm going to be doing some Star Citizen gameplay. I'll be hanging out with a member of Avengers Squadron who is going to teach me how to PvP. So you get to see me learn a little bit more about PvPing and practicing. Is Waka streaming? We'll go raid Waka. And then on Saturday, we don't have a captain's table, but I will do this again. So we'll watch whatever panel they post on Friday and whatever panel they post on Saturday. If not, then we'll just do kind of a quick office hour sort of thing. I'll also have a new video for breaking down the Squadron 40, the lore of the Squadron 42, the lore kind of context of the Squadron 42 video we saw, talking about things like the Van Duel and Vega and Second Fleet and what's going on in those cutscenes and who those people are, that sort of thing. Just probably about a 15, 20-minute thing, to kind of a breakdown. It'll be very simple. It won't be as detailed. I will go into more detail about things like the Second Fleet, about Admiral Bishop, about Squadron 42, about all those sorts of things. So, we're doing Starfield stuff. Let's go raid them to do some Starfield stuff. I'll be in Pyro. On the 31st, I will be in Pyro, though. I'll definitely go streaming live on the 31st if they, for Halloween, spooky Halloween stream, if I get access to Pyro Playground, for sure. Any thoughts on the new Zeus? I don't like the aesthetics. I think it looks worse than the, bad. It should be better. Yeah, Caniac Idol, it's actually we're being streamed to YouTube and to Twitch, so all you gotta do is go to my page on YouTube and you'll find it. Once it's over with. Actually, you can watch it right now if you want to. Like, literally when I end the stream, it'll end on YouTube as well, so you can go get in there and find it. You can find it right, like I said, right now. It was in the Whitley's Guide. What was in the Whitley's Guide? The Zeus? Luna Maria, thank you very much for that $10 Canadian. I don't think it looks like the actual, like, Zeus. It looks kind of off. It has some elements, like the tipped up wings, but it's like, it just doesn't look like that. The Mark 1 looks better, yeah. You know they're going to add you to the list. I've already been a part of that list. I think they meant the 600i Whitley's Guide mentioning they have a military variant with no windows. Yeah, they do. The original 600 was a cargo ship. Like, there's a lot of stuff like that.
Hey, a tip.
Lunam, super short at $7.41. Thanks again.
No problem. Tell me about larger racing ship lore to the Fit the Zeus. There's not really much there, so. Who gets access to Pyro? Everyone will eventually get access to that preview build. I believe it's going to go through the wave system similar to PTU, but there's going to be a lottery early on, and I believe anyone who has a CitizenCon ticket will get access to it, is what I heard. That could be wrong. And likely like Evocati people and stuff like that as well. And streamers, like, if that insults you, if that makes you mad, get mad, rage, throw something around, and then get over it, because that's just exactly what is going to happen. Like, streamers will get access to it early on. That's free publicity. Like, Bounty Hunter version 2, how long away? I have no clue. I mean, we've seen a bunch of gray box stuff, so I'm guessing probably 6 months to a year. Hey, Paul, do you see Pyro's Silice of Poutine? It looks a similar name. No, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, the RSIs that they, the RSIs, the 600Is they bought were for VIP transport. But no Orion? What's the Orion? Is that the...
Raven_actual tip $69. Thanks for the law, Paul.
Thank you so much for that that tip. 69. That's funny. I am a child. Oh, the miner, yeah, the big miner. Yeah, it's gonna be a while because they need to have the refining gameplay in. But from the sounds of things, CIG wants to try to get mining, refining, and all those sorts of things. It looks like we don't have vein mining there, X. It looks like they're just going to go for base mining instead of vein mining. So it'll be interesting. Hey, Angry. Can we get a follow command for Angry PC Tech? Just don't start wearing fox ears? Of course I'm going to start wearing fox ears. Why wouldn't I? I mean, I wear helmets. If you buy me a helmet with fox ears on it, I'll wear it. I didn't buy a Zeus, no. Thoughts on jump point size restrictions? I don't believe in small jump points, or I don't believe in medium jump points. I believe medium jump points are a lie. I think they're going to entirely revamp how the jump point system works before it comes out, because it doesn't make any sense right now. Funny number, yeah. Fun for Paul's fox-eared helmet. I'm sure there's one that exists somewhere. Jump drive sizes mean nothing too, yeah. They're just the like size for the ship, I think. I'm confused about why Zeus have different drives. I think it has to do with probably like distance, probably efficiency as well. My guess is larger drives are more efficient, because generally speaking, larger drives allow in Star Citizen allow for faster movement. So, how do you think org guild cities will work? Will they function like Banu Merchantmen? My guess is that what will happen is that people will start building bases and then offer locations for people to build their bases for protection. And you'll see like little bases like that are built out over the span of like an area which is collectively defended by an org. I think you'll see like natural villages and towns built out of outposts. Hey, Wiggles. Yeah, you'll still be able to discover jump points, but they're I don't think they're gonna have some procedural systems. No, I think the closest you'll have is what I call the tributary system, where like jump points will have different like secret entrances and exits, which you can find, but they're not like temporary. They're not permanent. They're probably more temporary. You want to play on PS4? You're not going to be playing on PS4. You'll play it on PS5, maybe. Probably not Star Citizen, though. Probably Squad 42. So I just went on CIG's website. It seems the only people they're hiring are programmers in Germany and the UK. I'm starting to think the Star Engine demo was a recruitment tool. Might have been. Yeah, that's generally speaking, the reason why they're only hiring for Germany and UK is because the LA and Austin offices are entirely overflowing. They don't have enough space. They don't have offices for those people. So they have to build or buy new offices for both LA and Austin, but that's very expensive. And they just bought/built new offices in Manchester and in Frankfurt. So, and they bought Turbulent. So it's a matter of finding a place, getting a good money for it, and or building a place, finding a place to build and getting good deal on it, and then building that sort of things. Yeah, they also get tax breaks for gaming devs in the EU and the UK, I believe, as well. So. What's your serial number on your CitizenCon coin? Yeah, it's 8675309. The drive difference is like having multiple engines options for the car make. I think so, yeah. The Galaxy was always a good idea. It's just a really awkward duck for what it does. It's expensive for what it does. I just find it interesting that it's only programmers. Well, Frankfurt is their main engine studio, and Manchester is their main development studio for Squadron. So that checks out. And Austin is the main PU studio, but they do most of like that's where a lot of the people who maintain and service the servers and almost all of the people who do platforms, so like the sales and stuff are. And then a lot of the people who do sales and a lot of the team that does administrative stuff is in LA, an art team as well. So yeah, operations. It's mostly the operations team, but like they also run the PU. Like when they launch a new patch, Proxys is the one who launches the new patch. Whoosh. Oh yeah, we were joking because it's from a song. It's the song called Jenny, I think. I followed the game since the beginning. 2013, 2012 was the beginning, but yeah, that's pretty early. That's same. I've been here since 2014, so I get that. I'm convinced Inforunners do not sleep. We don't. We gain energy through osmosis. A lot of people are like, wait, because I was talking to people. Someone was talking like, yeah, I love the Inforunners. The Inforunners are great. By the way, X, that's pretty much what I heard all CitizenCon when they met me. They're like, I watch you, Paul, and I watch the Inforunners, and I'm like, yep. We thank you for watching both me and me, and we're a team, and they didn't get it. I was just like, no, I'm part of the Inforunners, y'all. Like, that's why you see me out there all the time. It got really confusing. Like, a lot of people were like really confused looks in their faces when I kept saying that. It's like, well, you're not the Inforunners. It's like, you're talking about X and L. I know, but like, a lot of them. It's a tag team relay. Yeah. Space said the same thing. Yeah, I watch you and Inforunners, and it's like Space Tomato is part of Inforunners. We're just a group of folks. Yeah, for those who don't know, Inforunners officially is Algrid, Execute, Space Tomato, myself, Loken Plays, Badgers. I'm trying to think of all the other people. We have a couple other people in there as well.
You can take away my space suit. You can even take away my space lasers.
No PPUs.
But you can never,
ever
take away my space game.
Darsh. I don't know if is Darsh Inforunner? He probably is. It's mostly just, do you want to be on?
That guy 6226 just resubscribed for 7 months. Good
Thank you for that.
sitcom.
Thank you so much for coming and talking with me at CitizenCon. They're that guy. Thank you for subscribing for 7 months. You're a very important, popular, very expressive, pisser, vending pedestrian. Shots and cheers in chat, y'all. Shots and cheers. Seer. Oh, yeah, Seer. If Seer's still around. I'm sure Seer will come back. A lot of people are coming back. I saw Captain Flint's coming back to stream Star Citizen, which is fantastic. The Few is coming back. Luke's coming back to stream a little bit of Star Citizen. No, Texas isn't. He's doing his own video game. So, yeah, this is actually Pyro 2. I'm on Pyro 2. Come find me. Yeah, I think he's working, but he's coming back to Star Citizen. Might have to get a few more recruits, probably. Especially with the newer generation of streamers that are coming up and content creators. I mean, freaking Shepard was there. Commander Shepard was there. Not the Commander Shepard, but Commander Shepard, or the streamer. AstroPub and Pyro always was. until they get me my Magnus, I'm staying here. Will we still be able to loot tickets from boxes or for the FC, or is that over? I believe they are no longer spawned in game, but they are as of Tuesday, I think. But you can redeem them until the 7th. So. Astro is the Wolfman Jack of Pyro 2. Is Salty Mike an info runner? I don't think Salty Mike's ever come on to the captain's table. The info runner, she's been on the captain's table. Why am I there? Because I hate Stanton. Can we pause for a minute and discuss how Pyro 3 should have been called Yellowstone? Vertigo, I don't think is part of Info Runners, but I think we've had him on a couple times. So the difference between not being an Info Runner and not being an Info Runner is just X and the team being like, "Hey, you want to join us?" And then X just bothers you more. that's the difference. X is like, "Hey, you want to come on and do something?" We usually keep the regular cast will be there a lot. So, but the bartender at the landing zone better be inspired by you. I'm gonna riot. Dude, if you've been in Stanton for 10 years, you need a change, believe me. Yes. Yeah, I don't know how much you want to tell them about the other stuff we do, X, because I know that's that's more of a sensitive thing. But like, Inrunners is a LLC, so it is a small like organization. Does anyone know when the first update will come out as they presented the updates at Live at CitizenCon, 31st of this month? Yes, 31st of this month is going to be the preview of Pyro Playground. I think it's going to be the Pyro Playground. And also, Replication Layer. You don't need to know about this as being important business. There's more to it, as Execute says, but... Question: have you done the lore video on the Battle of Vega? I have not, but because I have thought about doing a Squadron 42 lore, a Squadron 42 video, the lore of Squadron 42, the Battle of Vega, Bishop, the Second Fleet. There's a lot of lore videos I've been thinking about, but I was like, I'm gonna wait until Squadron 42 is out. So I will do a lore on Battle of Vega, probably closer to the release. Because the lore of Battle of Vega, it's a known lore. We've known about Battle of Vega 2 for 7 years now. And they keep adding to it too. All right, I said I was going to stop streaming 30 minutes ago. So let's go see if Wacka. Sort of. The leak that we got the audio from helped, but also the scene where we see Squadron 42 escorting Redeemers, Retaliators, not Redeemers, Retaliators to where Cal Mason says Callie's on me, let's say hi. I saw that and I was like, that's Vega. That's the Battle of Vega. And that intro scene that they had, the really rough version of the one that we got updated in the latest Squadron 42 kind of overview. I also saw them like, that's fucking Vega. Like this is Vega. And I was like, oh God, no, this is Vega 2. Oh God, you're gonna fight in Vega 2. Oh fuck. Oh shit. The guy entering EVA from a destroyed Javelin. You're not gonna have a fun time in the first episode, the first missions of Squad 42. You're gonna have a bad time. This is gonna be nothing but a bad time. You're not going to like it. It's going to be pain. I don't even have to tell you what actually happened. You just got to know how fucked up the Battle of Vega 2 was and be like, yep. Yeah, like the reason why I'll give you the basic gist, general render. Bishop left position around Vega and hid around Vega 3 and let the Vanduul hit Vega 2 and then pincered them between Vega 2 and the Second Fleet to destroy the Vanduul. But and it's not mentioned, but my guess is he did a calculated risk because, to be fair, Vega 2 is a fucking fortress. It is the Cadia or the Reach of Star Citizen. That they've been preparing for a Vanduul invasion for like 400 years. And it's filled with descendants of refugees from like Virgil and Caliban and like all of those places. So like it's filled with an angry bee's nest of people. Like Kastak, for instance, was founded in Vega, on Selene, Vega 2, and it's named after one of the major cities of Virgil. So you know why Kastak? If you look at Kastak, you look at the bullet sizes, and all of their bullet sizes are fucking like super extra. Like you're firing a 50 caliber fucking revolver. Everything is just overpowered and just like slow shooting, but massively overpowered. Huge like plasma weapons and stuff. Yeah, because they're designed to kill Vanduul. They're designed to be cheap Vanduul killing weapons. Like that's why they exist. That armor that they produce is designed to be cheap armor to defend militia against Vanduul. Yeah, it's a caliber wherever required to kill the humans. Yeah. As long as I'm not literally picking up pieces of my friends, I'll be okay. There may be a trigger warning for that. I don't know. I don't know the specifics. They get fucking dark. All I'm going to say is they get fucking dark in this story. It is not a happy-go-lucky time. Isn't that Virgil, not Vega? Kastak is, but Kastak was founded in Vega, and it's named after a city in Virgil. Because it was named specifically to honor the memory of Virgil And because the arms weapons, the weapons and armor it was produced were produced by the planetary government of Selene. Castek was a government-owned weapons manufacturing that went private. And all of the weapons were designed to kill Vanduul. That is something that CIG is definitely going to have to warn, because CIG isn't afraid to go to dark places that most game companies wouldn't. But at the same time, there's got to be some sort of warning on some of these labels, because, like I said, it could get dark. I would say if you want to get option to get armed, buy Castek. If you want to be able to like two-shot a Vanduul in the face, buy Castek weapons. Yes, they're down. They did an announcement on their Discord. They're doing maintenance on the servers. So you watch a crew member get gunned down in the video in the Vanduul and impale and injured a sailor when they boarded the ship. Yeah. But so the point being, what I'm saying is, he pulled away because he knew that that Vega 2 could withstand the initial onslaught, because they had defenses and marines and army bases and had a very armed populace. So they'd been preparing for this forever, and so they were able to defend against it, hold out long enough for to force the Vanduul to commit most of its forces to Vega 2, and then bring in the Second Fleet and smash them in a pincer move between the two and crush them between the two forces within a rock and a hard place. That was that is what I gathered from the attack. But as a result of that decision, a lot of people died. Like, tremendous loss of life. There's a reason why after Vega 2, the UEE declared war on the Vanduul. Because it was like, it is like nauseating how many people died in the invasion of Vega 2. Do you think CIG will give you a blueprint for a bar, or do you have to find it? You probably have to find it. I can see it. I say this is super excitedly because this is the only way I can cope with that sort of thing. Yeah, they use nukes, but nukes aren't very effective in atmosphere, especially when you don't need nukes when you have antimatter weapons. No, that is Operation... That's the battle of... Oh, shit. It's the battle that happens afterwards. Right after the declaration of war and the reveal of the Retribution. I can't remember the name of it, but it's in a neighboring system to Vega. You finished reading 40 minutes now? Yeah, sorry. People were asking about the lore stuff, and I'm going into it. Polaris was built in response to that. The Perseus was reactivated in response to it. The Retribution was completed in response to it. The F8 was increased production because of it. The UEE's in war footing. So... they're going, production is shifting over to war footing. Almost all of Navy assets that were interior of the UEE are now being moved to the Vanduul front, which is where you are for the Stanton. It's a little different. It's a little different thing there. So. All right, I gotta go. Let's see if Whack is there. I think Wacka's playing. I don't see Wacka. Yeah, I'm not seeing Wacka. As the teacher, ask the teacher relevant questions and they'll stay forever. Yeah. Well, the thing that they're showing off is actually pretty important in my mind.
If you tried to drink with a helmet on, your character would open the bottle and pour it all over the bottle.
I'm going to send you to 0 because I can. What is Tree doing? Oh, Tree's doing a watch through. I'll go raid Tree. Tree's a good one to raid. Thank you all for hanging out. Love your faces. I will see you tomorrow for some actual combat and gameplay. And then from there, we'll move on to doing this again on Saturday. And then, I don't know, lore expedition on Sunday. I'll talk to the lore team and see if they're good for it. Thank you again. Love your faces. And like I say every time, hope to see you someday in the black.